since I've had my styling for my own appointment, I've found a lot more, I suppose, direction, or a lot more kind of awareness of my own style, and how it's easy to have a bit more control over it without even realising. Is that something that you found is quite common with men, for instance, or is it more for people in general?
It is for people in general, but especially with guys, I think they want the guidance but don't really know where to go. But once I help guys to find their own style, they just get on with it. They'll wear the colours that are right for them, they'll wear the styles that are right for them, and they see it more as project managing their wardrobe, which is brilliant.
No, I've had that myself, to be honest. Personally, I find when you walk into a shop, you don't know where to start a lot of the time. It's like, do I start here, or would that suit me, would that not? So it's nice having that voice in the back of your head to kind of give you that direction. Brilliant. Definitely. Would you say, have you seen more men being curious, I suppose, since recently, being a bit more empowered in themselves, maybe a little bit? Or
yes, definitely. And I'm in touch with a stylist in America, and he said it's the same over there. Men are starting to be a lot more open, and I think possibly because we're used to looking at ourselves on screen. So a way that guys can look good is through their glasses. I mean, ladies can wear makeup, they can do their hair differently, but it's a feature that they can use, and they can change the colours, they can change the styles that actually suit them, so they can actually use it as a men's accessory.
Yeah, no, I've noticed again, for over the years, it's very easy to kind of fall into the same pattern of wearing the same thing or sticking to the same thing because it's comfortable, even with glasses or with clothes, really. So it's nice having, is that bit more self-confidence to be able to take that bit more of a jump out, because I get a lot more reward from it, I got to admit, kind of from my own self, but also other people mentioning it as well. Do you find do a lot of people, again, especially towards guys, do they tend to come back and say, oh, I've had quite a few compliments? You tend to, a lot of ladies say they've had compliments off their friends.
Yes, definitely, yes. And I think they find it very useful at work when they look more stylish, and they know how to dress to suit themselves, and they become more visible as well, which is it's always good in a work role, especially if they have a leadership role, management role. Yeah. It's a very useful tool to have.
One thing I've always felt as well is, it's almost easy for guys, again, guilty myself, it's easy to kind of fall into, it's easy to follow a certain style than it is to make your own. So do you get a few people that are very much where they'll follow what they think they need to have, but then kind of discover themselves a bit more?
Yes, oh definitely. And I used to work in men's retail, so there was a real trend for very skinny suits, and some of the bigger guys, they just didn't suit. And I do show them now what styles to wear to flatter their shape. And I think it's the same with glasses as well. Sometimes people will choose a style that's in fashion, but actually it doesn't suit them, and you must see that yourselves.
Oh yeah, I see it quite a lot, where it's, especially maybe towards some of the old generation, very much where they see like a big chunky plastic frame. They always say, oh, it's Joe 90 kind of thing. It's that really classic look, but I think because they're so used to having, say, a particular type, it's almost hard for them to think that they would even suit that, because they're so used to a certain way of life, I suppose, really.
Yes.
But there's definitely a lot more individualism with it, even to just a bit of colour, kind of a bit of a splash to help with that. Again, I found that myself as well, but is it quite common for people to be, I suppose, not aware that they could do a lot even with just a bit of colour, rather than, you don't have to go for a full outfit of colour instead? Yes,
it can just be small steps and doesn't have to be really expensive, whereas people think, oh, if I'm going to be styled, it's going to cost a fortune, but it doesn't have to. Just like you say, just changing the colour of glasses can make all the difference and make us look a lot more up to date.
Next, I've found that when it's amazing how much difference a tie can make, or kind of a pocket square, whichever like that, or like glasses. just a little bit of colour doesn't have to go too far, but it can make quite a lot of difference at least.
Yes, and impact and make a chat more visible. And you're doing it so well, Matt.
Yeah, it's strange. Again, from where I've come from, it was very much you had the given uniform, everyone was all the same colour. I tried to accessorise a little bit with maybe some different socks or whichever, but you had limits to what you could do, whereas you do have a lot more freedom in the right sense, at least, to kind of explore a bit easier. And then obviously since having the chat with yourself as well, it's nice to kind of refine that a little bit more, because you tend to walk into a shop and go, well, I like that colour, but you don't really know how to make use of it. But after we had our chat and kind of showing a bit more of like, well, that colour would be nice as this, or this might be better as this, it's amazing how much of a fresher perspective you get when you walk into the same shop, and you can dismiss half the shop almost straight away.
Yes, and it's so much easier, and you'll find that you won't waste money because you know what suits you, which is brilliant.
And it's nice as well, again, I don't know whether you get it your end as well, but it's nice to kind of look back into your wardrobe and be like, oh, actually, and kind of it revitalises it a little bit, because you can put things together a bit easier than you didn't realise.
Yes, we found that when we did your style, that you'd already got a lot in your wardrobe that you could use. Just with a few additions, you could mix and match. Wear with the different coloured frames.
Yeah, because I'm actually hoping to soon get a pair of glasses that matches my suit a bit better. So again, I'm normally used to having bog standard plain colours, so go with something a bit brighter is quite nice. But it's again having that confidence to kind of take that little bit of a step out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Oh yes, and by doing that you'll inspire your patients.
I gotta admit, there's even a few people, like even the ones I'm wearing now being more of a navy, a lot of people, especially some of the guys that I've seen, have realised having just a little bit of colour, you haven't got to kind of go with something crazy on your face as well.
No, just slightly out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Which can be comfortable.
Yeah, just taking little steps, if anything, really. But it's nice to kind of, the small steps are quite rewarding in your own self as well.
Yes.
I gather you're going to get a lot of people your end that will come back, say a month or two later, and go, oh, I've had so many people say this to me. Or
yes, and say they look younger, that they're more confident, and they tend to feel comfortable in themselves because they know what they're wearing is just right for them.
Yeah, because I'm a lot more comfortable with myself, especially because even though I'm pushing towards 30 myself, I feel like I've only recently kind of more discovered my own style more than following the crowds or whichever, or what I should be wearing. So that was one thing I especially learned from our chat, and again it's helped me reference that back to the glasses for myself, but also glasses to people as well.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
I really appreciated the time and the experience you gave my style, and especially because it's something, again, I had no idea what I was doing with, so it's nice to have that bit of extra kind of personality to it. So yeah, no, thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, that's so good to hear.